Lean Back by NKMLN. Summary: Death didn't hurt like this. He doesn't know what to do with this. He's falling asleep, sinking into that meditative state between rest and awareness where he goes when he stares into space too long. And he barely even notices Cole leaning over him, even with his eyes open. It's not dark, it's not night. He's lying back on the couch, and the sun is moving softly through the window. And he can't breathe like this. He can't breathe anyway. Cole looks him over, then pulls the blanket up over his chest, his hand lingering over Zane's core, and kisses his forehead. And then he leaves. And that's Zane's first kiss. It's not on the lips. That's how first kisses are supposed to happen. He knows that. But that's too much to hope for. The notion puts something fervent and desperate crawling up his throat. He's not made to be loved like that. He's not made to be loved at all. And still and still and still. He doesn't bring it up for days. There's no excuse, not really, but the words die before they can reach his mouth, piling up like ants somewhere behind his teeth. He watches Cole's hands instead. They're rough, calloused. His own fingers would barely reach the uppermost knuckles. He imagines himself with his hands pressed against Cole's and has to push away the thought before it does something to him. He is not made to be held. And yet, he was made for the cold, for the lowing tree horns and the clear skies, following the stars like he knows what they whisper, each to each. The black holes are singing. They are not singing to him. He was made to be alone. A hand on his back brings him back to himself, undoes him in equal measure. He can see in this dark, but he knows who this is without looking. "Hello," he whispers. "Hi." Cole's hand moves to his shoulder. They both stare out of the window, where the snowflakes are caught in the streetlight. Zane is not watching them. "It's snowing," he points out. It is. They're both silent for a moment. His core is moving. "What does it feel like?" Cole asks. When he was young, first created, new. It was a joy. It was a relief. It was like coming up for air. Cole rubs his thumb over his shoulder. He's drowning. "Quiet," he whispers. Everything is quiet. His brain, ciphered, coded, is turning to static. Good quiet or good quiet? The hand goes still. "Do you want me to go?" he asks, and Zane tastes fear like bile from them both, though what Cole could be scared of, he can't understand. No. More silence. Longer. Deeper. The snow is singing, and its song is a vast and beautiful nothing. He wasn't made for this, either. He was only ever made to be a shield. He was made to break. He is breaking. There is a hand on his shoulder, and it is killing him. He's been touched gently before. Jay and Naya had their hands in his chest, for God's sake, run their fingers over his core, his heart, as he lay prone and gasping for air he did not need. But for all that had entailed, it's not like this. They love him very much, but they reserve a different kind of love for each other, and it's not the same. He watches them, and something writhes in his chest, slick and wholly unpleasant. He wants that for his own. He needs it, desperately. He can't be sated on scraps and leftovers, greedy thing that he is. A hand leaves his shoulder. "Are you okay?" The snow whirls past. Dying didn't hurt like this. Dying it was pain, but the pain ended, and then a great and gaping nothingness. No body to rack with sobs over his own loss, no mind to mourn himself. He goes still as the emptiness registers in his mind. Cole waits. He has always hoped he would be buried, cradled by tons of stone and grave dirt after his death. There was no body to bury. "I'm sorry," he whispers. There's a small shuffling noise, then Cole kneeled in front of him, looking up with warm, dark eyes. "Why are you sorry?" He can't look away. He can't make himself look away. It's so quiet. "I don't react to things the right way. Like I should." "What?" "When you touch me," he hurries to explain, "I don't react the way I'm supposed to. I don't—" "You don't have to react anyway for me," Cole whispers. "You don't have to pretend to want anything you don't—" "No!" Terror. "No, no, I want you to touch me. I do. It's just so much. It's overwhelming." He hesitates, an admission of weakness, a gap between his plating, his fragile, newborn soul on display. "Yes." Cole raises a hand to his cheek, telegraphing the movement to let him shrink away or stop him. It is warm and rough and cradling, and he closes his eyes and leans into it. "That overwhelming?" "No," he whispers, feather-light. His other cheek is cupped in a second hand, his head tilted gently upwards. He does not open his eyes. He can still see the snow. "No." Silence. A forehead presses against his own, and he closes the distance. Zane's first real kiss freezes a pipe in the kitchen. The second sets the snowfall in sheets and fogs of white. The third and fourth and fifth stop his heart and tremble his hands and reel him back, eyes flying open, gasping for air he will never use. "Oh," he murmurs. "Oh." Cole's hands leave his cheeks. "Are you—" He laughs, bordering on hysteria. His throat hurts, like he's swallowing around something small and hard and immovable. "Yes," he chokes. Don't leave. Stay, please. I can't." His sixth kiss heals him. "I won't," Cole whispers. "I won't go anywhere. It's okay. I'm here." The snow blankets the ship. He rests his head on Cole's shoulder, shaking slightly. He's going to wake up soon. He's going to be alone again. And even so, he does not look at the future. He wraps himself in the gentle present and closes his eyes and sobs. This concludes the reading of Lean Back by NKMLN. Read to you by Mystic Malady.